So I think the first thing that is going to happen is that as marketers start to use rich media much more, the demands on storage will increase exponentially, and that is something CIOs may not have forecasted in, and suddenly they will be asked to acquire or enable more storage, and this storage will often need to be distributed. I mean, it won't be in a one centralized place. That will be one challenge. The second challenge will be the pressure on the networks within the organization. As you move around video and you move around very large files, there will be a huge pressure on the network, which was designed for data and intermittent data, but certainly not streaming video and stuff like that. The third thing is the demand from the marketing department and other departments on allowing access to a lot more employees to things like YouTube, Facebook, all these sort of social networks, maybe using technologies like Vine and Tumblr and all these things. The issue is not so much as allowing the access, but the challenge of making sure that you will not experience network breaches and security issues because of that. Because from what we have seen on the security front, that hackers and crackers are now using social media and other ways to penetrate the corporate networks. While the tools are there, they're not as good enough, they're not as sophisticated to stop everything, and they often rely upon the intelligence of the users. But that might be harder if you've got lots of users and who are not necessarily very tech savvy about such things. The third thing would be the greater use of mobiles within the network. So as you have more marketing campaigns and all coming in through mobile platforms, the users, one will consume all this, so it will put a lot of pressure on the wireless networks within organizations. B is, if the marketing department starts using all this, they will want metrics, and so how do you measure all this? And the technologies which are out there are not evolved enough to give you good metrics, and so they will come back to the CIO and say, we are spending all this money, we need to measure this, we are already using all this stuff, now tell us how to do this. And I think there will be a challenge for the CIO's department to answer those queries, and it may be beyond their existing levels of competence to do this very quickly. The next thing would be, as you generate more data, there is this huge demand for big data and analyzing patterns and sifting through that. That will put a lot of pressure on the CIO's department, because you may need to use technologies like Hadoop and all these things to crunch that amount of data in a reasonable frame of time. And if that's not something they are familiar with, they will have to acquire skills in those areas, but it will be hard for them to show an ROI on it. So if they go to the CFO and say, we need to put in all this technology and we need to hire 4 data scientists to do this stuff, the CFO or the CEO is going to ask, but what's the ROI? And the ROI, since it's a marketing project, the marketing department may not be able to show the ROI. So it will become again one of those things that who signs the check for this, and that would become a source of conflict between that. But overall, I guess that we will see marketers exploring all avenues. There will be they would also like to do more sophisticated mixed media, so that it's not just text, not just video, but how can you mix all of them and use it in a campaign? How do I serve my marketing campaigns across multiple platforms? There they will need help. A lot of marketers will look at apps, and apps have to be developed by somebody, and these have to be customized apps. I don't think the marketers are going to be able to specify things in so much detail which a developer would require. So they will need the CIO's help in helping them get these apps developed so that they can push them out to the user group. And so yes, they will need to collaborate. The collaboration may not be easy, but it will happen because the CIOs themselves see the need for doing this. And so I think marketers need to take the help of the CIOs as far as possible, and maybe even educate them on what they want and show them examples of stuff. And being technologists at heart, they are always very happy to see new things, and they are willing to experiment, and they'll be happy to experiment with them to get this done. So I think that that's the good news out there, that don't treat the CIO as a gatekeeper who always says no, but look at it that give them a challenge and they would love to solve it, as long as it's a technology challenge. They can't solve your marketing problems for you.